Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to cover the editorial page of the Indian Express, and we'll begin with the article "The Impunity of Being Brij Bhushan Singh." As you might already be aware that the current situation, which is the acquittal of being carried out by the former against the former MP Brij Bhushan Singh on charges of sexual harassment by the India's most celebrated wrestlers, including Vinesh Fogart and Sakshi. So the you might be aware of the background that they have alleged this former Brij Bhushan Singh, the chairman, also the former chairman of Wrestling Federation of India, and also the MP, the former BJP MP. So what gives them the courage to be resilient to the India's judicial system is that they are in power already. That is why they do not think that they are under any scrutiny. So this article basically covers that despite the FIR being filed, no serious actions are being taken against the accused. Thereafter, the complainants, including the Vinesh Fogart, says that justice cannot be held hostage to power and influence, and so we're going to raise voice against the inhumanity and against the crime done against us and all the women force. So this article also mentions that the oversight committee has also been organized, set up, but their inquiry has also been completed. Still, it has not proved itself to be fair enough to evoke and to explicitly mention the real findings of the issue or of the allegation that are being put against this man. Note the BJP, which had already brazened out the cases of its UP leaders and many, including MLA Kuldeep Sengar, later convicted of raping a minor whom it protected and expelled only 2 years after the case was reported. So you could see that the justice will come only when won, a long fought battle is already being faced by the complainant and by the victims. Here in that case, we could also see that the full judgment is yet to be made public, but the court's official reporting is plain enough. The prosecution, it is said, failed to prove guilt beyond reasonable doubt. Yes, there is no doubt, and it has failed to prove the guilt of the person accused. Statements of the victim themselves are the evidence. Yes, here to point out that in cases including the harassment, rape, and injustice done to females, especially the sexual harassment, the statements of the victim themselves are the evidence because the time and place are chosen by the predators. There are rarely any witness present on the site. That is why we hope to improve the low conviction rates in such cases, because what's the scenario today? Only one third, my dear students, only one third conviction rate is there for cases which include women's sexual harassment. The number itself says it is meager condition. It is like an alarming condition for India's women workforce who step out of their houses to raise their voices and also to work for themselves in order to ensure an women empowerment. Where does the security of a woman lies? You have put the security of a woman at stakes when she steps out of the home to work and to make her empowered as well as contribute in the nation building. Moving further, we could also see that and the force that comes down on them if they dare to speak. Yes, if the accused dare to speak, they are being circled around, they are being surrounded by the force that these men in power already carry. So that is why it also not only they raise their voices to make the people aware of what has happened with them, but also to make people open their eyes to the reality that already existed, that already took place. Secondly, the judgment comes at a moment when India is also witnessing toxic, misogynistic backlash against a young woman where who was so active in the historic Janata Mantar struggle led by the Cockroach Janata Party. They are being doxed, stalked, and threatened with rape, anything to silence and punish them. Yes. In male dominated society in India, we cannot ignore it and we cannot put it into silence that when a woman, be it uh, be it raising voice for herself or for the society, a misogynistic backlash is always being faced by her. She is doxed, stalked, threatened with rape, and also her family is put to stakes, anything to silence and punish them. When the Prime Minister calls it culture shock to hear young women use cuss words, he stamps his approval on sexist abuse, no longer as it's men doing the abuse. Yes. When the men is doing the abuse, they keep they keep it this approval as a sexist abuse, because telling that the men will always be men. Here the point is that you are trying to defend a man just by saying that he's a man. He is allowed to to give his to use a sexist abuse, but when it comes to women, she is being bogged down from all the surroundings, from the being threatened to death and also to rape cases, just to silence her voice. Vinesh Fogart, the courageous voice of the women complainants, had said that they will appeal the judgment no matter what the scenario is, and they will have the support of all those who believe that justice cannot be held hostage to power and influence. Thank you very much everyone for this video. We'll meet in the yet another.